This lake has a strange red hue. In that one, a mysterious monster dwells. Here is a glade in the middle of the forest where all life perishes. And here, an entire forest that became the last refuge for many people. Do you want to join me in unraveling the mysteries of these places? Then watch the video to the end. Enjoy! Let's start with the classic. In 1964, journalists first mentioned the term Bermuda Triangle. Nowadays, everyone knows about this place. The Bermuda Triangle is an area in the Atlantic Ocean bounded by the Bermuda Islands, Florida and Puerto Rico. This place, shrouded in mysteries of disappearing ships and airplanes, is one of the most enigmatic and discussed anomalies in the world. The earliest documented disappearance in the Bermuda Triangle occurred in March 1918. At that time, the American military ship Cyclops vanished in this zone, with more than 300 people on board. Extensive searches were conducted, but neither the ship nor the bodies were ever found. Scary, isn't it? And this is not the only case. In 1945, 5 bombers disappeared here. The search plane sent after them also vanished, adding to the mystery. In 1950, the merchant ship Sullivan was lost. In 1954, a military transport plane with people on board. In 1963, a giant tanker. And these are far from all the cases. There are more than 100. So what's really happening there? Honestly, neither I nor scientists can give you the only correct answer to this question. Some people believe that all these mysterious disappearances are related to the special landscape of the Bermuda Triangle. Others are convinced that supernatural forces or aliens are to blame. I think that the number of ships and planes missing in the Bermuda Triangle is not much higher than in any other part of the ocean. That is, there is no anomalously high number of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle. That's all. But what about the mysterious disappearances, you may ask? It's easy to explain. The Bermuda Triangle has a complex system of currents, which according to experts sometimes makes it impossible to find the exact location of an incident. The complex seabed topography complicates navigation, and unstable weather conditions directly affect the safety of ships. And indeed, unstable weather is observed here. This area is commonly referred to as the Hurricane Alley. Here, cyclones reach their peak activity. And as far as I know, hurricanes are swift, unpredictable, and ruthless. Complex topography, currents, hurricanes, there's all the mystery. So let's stop thinking about this mysterious place and move on to others. For example, to this one. Deep in Sichuan province in China, among majestic mountains and green landscapes, hides the Black Bamboo Gully, a place shrouded in legends and mystical mysteries. What's so mystical about it, you might ask? The fact is that there are numerous accounts of unexplained events that have occurred in these forests. One of the most famous and oldest stories dates back to the early 18th century. Then a local monk named Li Jin went to the Black Bamboo Gully and disappeared without a trace. It is said that he sought spiritual enlightenment, but never returned. Also, in 1950, for an unknown reason, a plane crashed in the valley. No technical malfunctions were found on the plane, and the crew did not report any distress. That same year, according to statistical data, about 100 people disappeared without a trace in the gully. 12 years later, the same number again. An entire geological exploration group disappeared. In 1966, a squad of military cartographers mapping the topography of the area. In 1976, a group of foresters. Additionally, ancient manuscripts mention that spirits and beings from other worlds dwell in this mysterious place. This is probably related to the magical power of bamboo, which according to legends attracts all kinds of supernatural phenomena. Well, personally, I don't believe in the paranormal. Like scientists, I tend to think that this place simply has a harsh climate, with frequently changing weather, unexpected downpours, fogs, soil sedimentation. And this is most likely the reason for the disappearance of people. Well, if they indeed disappear there. And now, look at this strange place. A perfectly outlined circle in the middle of the forest. Devils, that's the usual name for this mystical glade. It is located in the heart of the Ural Mountains in Russia. Here, the natural laws we know seem to be violated. But why? The most noticeable and unusual phenomenon of the Devil's Glade is the complete absence of vegetation on a significant round area of land surrounded by dense forest. Despite numerous attempts by people to plant any plants here, they invariably died. Everything living perishes in this place, even birds flying over and animals that accidentally wander into the glade. At first they run away in terror, but then they still die for unknown reasons. Local residents say that this place formed about 100 years ago. Then there was a big fire in the taiga, on the ashes of which the Devil's Glade appeared, terrifying people and animals. In general, many legends surround the Devil's Glade. For example, one says that in ancient times it was a place of sacrifices to pagan gods, and that the land here still retains traces of ancient rituals. Another legend links this place to alien visits, suggesting that the Glade is a landing site for UFOs. And yeah, it sounds plausible. Look how perfectly round, just right for a flying saucer. What do scientists say? During expeditions in the 1990s and early 2000s, the geological and ecological aspects of the Glade were studied. Various theories were considered, from the influence of magnetic fields to unique soil conditions. But so far, it has not been possible to explain the reason for the absence of vegetation in this area. And I, unfortunately, also can't give a definitive answer to this question. What's really happening here? Maybe I should go there myself and investigate everything. Next is a mysterious place that is more or less understood. On the slopes of the sacred Mount Fuji in Japan stretches the Aokigahara Forest, most famously known as the Suicide Forest. It all started in the 1950s. It was then that this forest began to be used as a place where people went to end their lives. The Japanese government even stopped publishing suicide statistics in the forest to not contribute to its popularity in this sense. Posters were hung at the entrance urging not to commit fatal actions, and numerous psychological campaigns were conducted. But the authorities did not particularly succeed in their efforts. In the 1970s, the writer Seicho Matsumoto wrote the novel Black Sea of Trees, which describes a suicide story in Aokigahara. This novel ultimately turned the Gully into a place with a grim reputation and contributed to the increase in the number of such cases. But why did people choose this particular place? Are there any mystical reasons? Demons? Ghosts? No. The fact is that this forest is quite gloomy. Volcanic rocks nearby creating numerous caves, trees and roots having frightening outlines. In some places they grow so densely that they even prevent the movement of the wind. Because of this, there is a dead, sinister silence in the forest. Perhaps the atmosphere itself pushed people to dark thoughts and deeds. At the same time, the forest still attracts paranormal enthusiasts. They still believe that supernatural beings dwell here. I can't agree with them. I don't believe it. Only one thing is clear for sure. This place is indeed mysterious, if only because of its history. Well, now let me tell you about a natural anomaly. Look at this unusual lake of bright red color. Located at the foot of the old Doinyo Lengai volcano in the northern part of Tanzania, Lake Natron is a truly mysterious place, one of the most amazing places on the planet, regularly attracting crowds of people. Why? It's simple. Well, first of all, the color. That's obvious. The water in the lake has a high content of salts and minerals, including magnesium and sodium. But the source of the color is not salts, but salt-resistant microorganisms and cyanobacteria. They give an interesting orange-red tint to these waters. By the way, you better not put your hands in there, no matter how much you want to touch such an unusual liquid. It heats up to 140 degrees and has extremely high alkalinity. In general, it can leave severe burns. Don't believe me? Look at these mummified animal corpses on the shores of Lake Natron. Mostly these are birds and small rodents, because smarter animals, bigger ones, avoid this lake because of its poisonous vapors. And why is the water so hot? The most attentive have noticed that the lake is located at the foot of a volcano, and it last erupted lava in 2007, so it is still active. That's what heats up the reservoir. Researchers and photographers from all over the world come to this unique region to study it and capture its beauty. Nevertheless, it remains a mystery how life exists in such extreme conditions and what are the secrets these places might hide, remaining unexplored. So what is this? It looks like a stump from a giant tree, but no. This is Devil's Tower, a unique geological formation located in Wyoming, USA. It's a huge monolith consisting of vertical basalt columns. It rises 422 yards above the surrounding terrain, creating an impressive sight. So why isn't it a stump? Scientists have long figured out that these are just stone columns formed as a result of cooling magma and subsequent erosion that carved out unique columns. Alright, we figured that out. Why did this so-called Devil's Tower even make it into the compilation? And why does it have such a strange name? The thing is that for a long time, people believed in the artificial origin of this mountain. Well, who could build it if not the devil? After all, humans are not capable of such sculptures. In terms of size, Devil's Tower exceeds the Pyramid of Khufu by 2.5 times. And the devil? Yes, you could. Or a huge snake. Or the snake just froze and turned into a rock. So one of the legends of the local indigenous tribes tells. The hero Indian fought a huge snake that threatened the tribe. He won. And then the snake turned into a monolith. So the Devil's Tower became an object of increased attention for scientists and researchers from all over the world. I think it's indeed one of the most mysterious places on the planet. You've likely already heard about this next place. It's as widely known and popular as the Bermuda Triangle. I'm talking about Loch Ness in Scotland. Primarily, this place is associated with legends about a monster, but it is also quite popular due to its impenetrable fogs and mysterious, enigmatic atmosphere. The monster is called Nessie. The story of this legend began in 1933, when engineer Alexander McCulloch reported that he noticed something strange in the lake. He described seeing a huge creature with a long neck and a head resembling a dinosaur's head. This incident started a series of testimonies and observations that intrigued the global public. In 1934, under the leadership of zoologist Robert Rankin, the first official expedition to study the Loch Ness monster was conducted. However, the research did not lead to conclusive results. Subsequent expeditions have also failed to definitively confirm the existence of the monster and study it thoroughly. Nevertheless, many people still claim to have seen Nessie. Proponents of its existence cite a film shot in 1966 by an English aviation employee, Tim Dinsdale. It shows a massive animal swimming in the water. Moreover, in the summer of 1992, the entire Loch Ness was thoroughly scanned using sonar. The results were sensational. Dr. McAndrew's team claimed to have found several unusual living creatures underwater. These could have been dinosaurs that somehow survived to our days. Research continues, and Loch Ness remains one of the most mysterious places on the planet, attracting scientists and tourists from all over the world in search of answers to questions related to its mysterious history. Finally, perhaps the most mysterious and unpopular place from my compilation, Chavinda, Mexico. This unusual city, according to the beliefs of the natives, is the center of the interlabel of the real and the otherworldly worlds. This is why various incredible things happen here. What kind? Let's go in order. It's necessary to mention that Chavinda interests many treasure hunters, as legends say that unseen riches are hidden here. However, no one has yet managed to find these treasures. And treasure hunters often associate their failures with the tricks of otherworldly forces. The most famous case, according to legends, occurred in the 1990s. The moon shone brightly that night and the sky was cloudless. Treasure hunters in this place didn't even need flashlights to see the surrounding world. The man's calm was disturbed by a strange phenomenon. A horseman approached them, dressed in traditional Mexican costume. But what alarmed the gold hunters was not so much his appearance as his claim. The rider said he saw them from the top of a distant mountain and rode here in just 5 minutes, which is physically impossible in such a short period. This unexplainable incident frightened the gold hunters. They threw away their tools and immediately ran away. When they came to their senses, they began to doubt what they had seen. But subsequent events confirmed the reality of what happened. Later, when the treasure hunters decided to resume their search, even stranger events began to occur. Their new cars started breaking down and no repair could restore their functionality. One of the cars even became invisible to other drivers on the road and was rammed by a truck. These mysterious misfortunes continued until the gold hunters decided to give up their search for the treasure. An interesting legend, of course, but in my opinion, too unrealistic. Especially the part about the car is amusing. Who would believe such a thing? Nonsense. Nevertheless, Chavinda, despite its small area and remote location, still attracts thousands of tourists and adventurers annually. Many come here in search of spiritual experience, others in attempts to uncover the mysteries of this area, and the rest trying to find the very treasure. What other mysteries and puzzles does our planet hold? Maybe you will share your stories in the comments. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.